And I'm showing this face for a purpose. This is the faces of the women they torture. Now, like I said, in my targeting, there's such a psyops, and it's so nasty. And it takes a lot for me to just calm down, because I see these people try to counter reality. The reality of what these bottom feeders do is horrible. Obviously, I know that this program is run by the government. I know these people I see are contracted to do what they do. I know. I know that this is not coming from their own little organizations. I understand that. Matter of fact, I know even the people who put me in this program have nothing to do with these people doing this to me. I was in my building. There's a few people I tend to see, right? They tend to like to send like the childlike individual, but there's an apartment that I've rarely seen people in, and there are people there. These people, I think, are mostly just perps, right? And they rarely show themselves, and they tend to maintain a very low key. I mean, I have a balcony right next to theirs. It's been the whole summer. I don't think I've seen them a single time. The last time I saw them was maybe last year, and now it's just like very rare. Now they're not they're not mystic beings. They're not mystical, and they're just very, very regular. You don't look at them, it's like, oh my gosh, wow. Like, it's just none of that. But what they do is foul, and it's just nasty. For me, I've never let them live the fantasy they wanted to create. I know who put me in this program. The reason they can't even say Roy Moore is because the employee who put me in this program, right, donated money to this man who's allegedly was picking up kids, 14-year-old kids, as in middle school. And these people, if I say the name of this man, Roy Moore, you'll see them just turn red, because I understand there's certain rules they cannot do. There's certain things they cannot do, right? There's rules that they have to follow, and you understand that there's people obviously in charge, and it's not who I'm looking at. But for me, as they do what they do to me, they like to brag, oh, we're killing you. They've been killing even women and children. Look at the people you see that. This is not somebody who came and burned them literally. This is people who've been radiated by this technology, where these government entities have been implemented toward them. And the trash that surround me is doing these things to people. Now, for me, my purpose, and they like to be like comical, like, oh, your purpose. I was like, yes, my purpose, because I understand that my time is limited, just like yours. But my purpose is to continuously say the things I need to say before I can say it. What I need to say is something I've already said many times, and these people are just the bottom feeders working for entities that are filled with pedophiles. Now, I was in the hallway throwing the trash away. And there's something they like to do. They like to try to distract me any ways possible when I'm listening to something they don't want to hear. And they think that this distraction is going to make me see them in a different fashion. They think they're going to present themselves in a certain way. It's like, look at me. Look how I'm presented. So would I be part of that? But at this level of validations, at this level of understanding what this is about, of course I'll know. Yes, absolutely. You, the way you look, the way you are involved in a program where the people who even runs this program, there's a lot of problem with pedophilia. It makes sense. Where do you think this tactics of tormenting people comes from? It does make sense that it would be understanding that where they can come up with tactics to manipulate people in these ways could have a lot of pedophiles in those entities. So I'm listening to this portion that you're going to listen to, basically calling out, why is there so many pedophiles in these entities? Why are we seeing so many pedophiles in the CIA, in this DOD? Why are they letting them in when they can easily see that? Why are they letting this kind of people work in this higher ranking intelligence community jobs if they can see these things? Why? And so this is something they don't like to see as what it is, reality. Why are they doing this? Why are they letting pedophiles work in these entities? And so as I'm listening to that, this person comes in, and she's somewhat curvaceous, 25, 20 something, like year old, 27 maybe, And you know, I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be looking at her and like be interested, but all I'm thinking about is like this trash right now is working in this entity. I could, the reality of what she's involved is just like I just want to like, you are just a nasty shit. I'm sorry for the language, but I truly see her like that, probably clean and everything else, but just the shit that she is not what you can see. This trash is like, I'm the nothing, you're the something. I think that's what they were trying to present. It's like, look at me, I'm a something and you're a nothing. Really. Really. I don't. She probably took a nice shower. She's probably sleeping well. She probably ate properly. I was like, do you think at this point I feel like the nothing and you're the something? It evaporated immediately. I saw her truly for the shit that she is. Matter of fact, I regret not taking a picture of that person, because this is the kind of person I need to take more pictures of, so I can put that as an example of a typical trash bottom feeder who works around you to torture you and torment you in these disgusting ways. Whatever's going to happen to me, I'd rather get castrated than having to live her life, honestly. And I know she did her best to try to look as presentable as possible. I'm like, I'd rather suffer like this. If you look at me, if you look at yourself, I swear to God, you understand what I'm saying. Weakness, fragility, and I'm not saying in a sense of like strength. She's probably in much better health than me, but just somebody who's doing her best to try to counter that. You see what your life consists of? You're trying to stop me from listening to the fact that there's a bunch of pedophiles in these agencies. That's your job. Look at me, skinny me, starving to death. Look at you, eating well and looking like you're healthy. You think I'm going to let you live your fantasy? Target individuals. Find yourself dignified. I'm telling you, these people, whatever they present themselves as, they are fraudulent bottom feeders. Things are going to come to them one way or another. I saw her, I was like, yo, trust me, I know it's going to come back to you. I didn't see somebody who was like, oh no, I see you for what you are. Matter of fact, from this point on, I do hope that she presents herself more, so I can take a picture of her low-lifeness and show what these low-life are. Truly. Cowards. They haven't been on the balcony. That was like the most brave things she's done. Brave. It's been the whole summer. Nobody been seen. But for me, my job right now, before I die, before I starve to death, before I get cut in pieces, is to always show this low life for what they are. Whatever's going to happen to me is not going to change what these people are part of. Target individuals, listen to what they do. Listen to the obviousness of what they're part of.
The rest of the cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally. Well, don't worry, Stephen. I think a few of them were fired. Yeah, well, the rest that's the thing. The rest of the cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally. Whatever the hell that... Think about that. The CIA? That must mean there is... Cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally. Well, don't worry, Stephen. I think a few of them were fired. Yeah, well, the rest that's the thing. The rest of the cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally. Whatever the hell that... The CIA? That must mean there is such a lack of fearing any sort of accountability. For crying out loud, while on assignment, 1,400? You must have not been doing any job. Well, even if you had to look at it to make sure you knew what it was. Back to the CIA to handle them internally, whatever the hell that... The CIA? That must mean there is such a lack of fearing any sort of accountability. For crying out loud, while on assignment, 1,400? You must have not been doing any job. Well, even if you had to look at it to make sure you knew what it was, don't you just need to look at one? Right. You're like, I better check the other 1,399 just to be safe. Yes, I better check the other 1,300 labeled tax things. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness. And the guy with the 6-year-old? Disgusting. Twice. Yeah, twice with the 6-year-old. Ugh. So and here's the scariest part, out of the 10 instances that are described in the report, only one person was ever charged with anything. Yeah. With anything. Comment below. Do you guys know this story? This should be catnip for the media, right? Think about it. You've got this lewd behavior. You've got corruption at the highest levels of government, right? Aaron Brockovich, something about fake tits and tap water. Yeah. The CIA raping children and sexually assaulting children.
As I was recording this, as you can hear, CIA agents raping children, doing things to children. This is why I was listening in the hallway, and this trash was trying to distract me and try to counter that, thinking that somehow if she presents herself in this way, look at me, look how presentable I am, look at me. I'm like, wait, yes, look at you, trash. You have to see them for what they are. I don't mean to just insult them, but it is what they're involved in. It is what they're part of. They involve in these entities that fill with pedophiles, but this is just those entities. You want to hear what they do to children? This person walking and try to show herself in these ways?
In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time. I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice. I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. And I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions. During one session, I observed one of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grab his crotch and lean forward in his chair. And then he made a frightening grimace of severe pain. I asked him what was wrong and if he needed to use the restroom, but he said no to having to use the restroom and was not able to verbalize anything more due to his language delay. He looked puzzled and bewildered. Even though I had stated that it was time to do more work right before this incident, I quickly just let him play another game, and he quickly returned to his joyful, happy self again. In other sessions, he has also grabbed his crotch and said, "Ow," while looking up at me.
I was listening to them trying to distract me, because you hear what they do to kids. And as part of trying to distract reality, they're like, "Oh, they're going to catch your balls." This is the things I'm being told. Now, at this point, it's scary to say this, and I'm saying that meaning it. When they say these things, I almost feel like grabbing my own knife and taking my knife to them. It's like, "Go ahead, cut me in pieces. This is what you try to counter." They were trying to play these things. They wanted to pretend they're protecting it. It's like, you are a bunch of low-life bottom feeders. I don't care how you present yourself. I'm just so thankful that I got to hear what I need to hear, see what I need to see before this happens. Do you think I care about my boss when I'm here listening to what you guys do to kids? There is no torture that is going to block out the reality of what these people are part of. They do these things where, while you listen to reality, because as a target individual, they are trying to create a psyop and make you believe this fantasy that they've put together. These people are bottom-feeders, cowards that torture even children. Do you know the response to that? Oh, we're going to cut your balls. I'm going to run to the person cutting my balls. I swear, and they know this. I truly stand on that. I'd rather be in sufferance than let people go into that fantasy and create this fantasy where they're protecting children. This is what they've done. Sexual torture in children. It doesn't end there. I can bring the psychological torture. These people, when I see them, I see for all this horrible shit they do to people. And on top of that, you just heard these entities filled with pedophiles. We're going to listen to that. The CIA agent doing things to 2-year-old and 6-year-old. This is the people telling me that I'm going to get my balls cut up. Everybody try to pretend that there's something else, looking at their phones. Like, I know what you're pretending to do. I know that you've been humiliated by these testimonials. This is why they don't like to be seen. This is why this scene was, oh my gosh, it was a blue moon. I don't think I'll ever see her again, except if I see her in a different environment. I can't wait to see her. I just pray. I'm like, please, in any settings, I would love to see you. You saw me in this setting. Me, weak as head. Did not eat well. Did not have been fried. You, apparently, you look like you're in good shape. Immediately, I saw her for what she is. This is me now expecting. If I ever get to see her again, I'll be like, I'd rather get my balls cut up than do what you do, you fucking fraud. And I know what you guys do to women. You want to hear how nasty they are to women? Listen to this.
Experiencing has been highly sexual in nature. The nature of the torture I have been experiencing has been highly sexual in nature and highly perverted, involving many combinations of sensory and motor manipulation of my mind and body, and of the people around me. This includes many different types of zaps to varying degrees to the genitals, butt, anus, and the entire pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years.
And to counter that, of course, they're like, oh, we did this. Of course, it's the way they try to agitate me, because yes, they do this. It's not past tense, it's what is being done today by these bottom feeders. They torture women sexually. Rapes are used to break down women. And they try to present themselves, listen, we're women. And so as women, we won't do that. We did it. Look at us. Look at the wokeness. Look at the progressiveness. Will we be involved in this? That's the women? Please listen to this.
I was told I was going to be shot in the face. And it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, you was shot in the face. You know, sound like an angry ass old person. You know, then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Oh, he shot in the face. You know, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is, with the Voice of Skull, it's a bunch of females. You know, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back and allow this to go on?
This is the psyop, and this is why I want to take picture of this trash, especially when they try to play the femme fatale. You know, to block that out, it's like, oh, they're gonna break your testicles. They're gonna do this thing to my. Did you hear what they did to a 3-year-old testicles? I know what they've done to people. Like, they do the same thing to me. But imagine a 3-year-old kid, a boy, 3-year-old boy, being tortured like this by these bottom feeders, and then them try to walk and live life. I'm not gonna let them escape. Target individual for me is like this. When I get a chance to see them, I will try to take a picture so you can see who can be involved in what you just heard and the different psyops. They've tried to normalize it. And they use this childlike individual who's like, oh, no, it's our normal. So yes, you're actually right. This is your normal. It's your normal to be torturing children and women. I rather get beat to death. You know, you hear people die with dignity. This is dignified death. Your normal is where people should kill themselves for. My death is gonna be honorable. Trash wanted to counter reality to the point even try to counter the fact there's a bunch of pedophiles in these agencies. I'm gonna run to my death. I'm gonna sprint to. I'm gonna crawl to it if I have to. One thing is for sure, I'm never gonna let people like them try to escape into a fantasy, seeing what they do to women. Look at these people's face. This is what they're involved in, and they want to go into escapism. Do you want to hear what they do to the psychological tormenting? No, listen.
I can be free from this torture. Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things. I can be free from this torture. Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat.
Miss Catherine Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I ask Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today. There is new work for the Commission for Human Subject Protection on our shores.
So I just want to make sure to finish up saying this is what a target individual go through. You heard women, you heard children, you heard all these things this low life do to women and the most vulnerable people. You heard even the psychological torture. They try to create some mental battles is what they create. But you gotta be strong. I'd rather be in pain every day of my life than having to do what they do. But they wanted to do these things they do to me, thinking I was going to let them escape into this fantasy. There's nothing but cowardness. This person showing herself was as brave as it gets. And that was quick. And of course, it's not because I'm going to do something to them. It's just because they don't want to be associated to what they're part of. So now they know even better because they know I'm going to take a picture of them. I'm going to make a video and be like, here, this is the kind of bottom feeders who's supposed to make you subscribe to this shit. And so you got to be strong and know what and you got to know who you are and not stand on and not subscribe to this BS. In my mind, they try to create these battles like how old shit. This is the things they do to try to make you subscribe to things. And you got to be strong. So to all my target individuals, for all the nasty things they've done to people, to all the nasty things they've done to children, all these horrible things they've done to kids, remember what these people are and see them for truly what they are. And look at this picture of this woman. This is not something that happened naturally. This is what they do to women.